Greetings and salutations!
Indeed! Hello and welcome to RPG Indie, and today we're going to take a look at the RPG Telepath RPG, Servants of God, which is a hybrid western/strategy RPG set in a unique Middle Eastern steampunk setting. And yep, that's what it is. Now, Telepath was developed by Sinister Games, a Chicago-based company consisting of one sole developer, together with seemingly in collaboration with some fans. Now, Telepath RPG, Servants of God, is the third game in the series. The two previous games are available for free download on the developer's website, which is sinistergames.net. And yep. Now there's a free demo available, which is what I'm playing right here, and it contains quite some gameplay, and it is quite good. I will get to show you that a bit later. Now you can also, you can of course purchase the game. It was recently released, talking about a couple of weeks ago, I believe, and it is currently available for €20, and I believe it is about $25 in the United States, and perhaps some other form in England. And let us start a new game, shall we? Take a look at this. Name yourself. Your character is a male, which is bound to the story. Since while this game has quite some interactivity in development story, it's good and just go adding tons of different things to accommodate that. You can call it Ublunicum 2. Here we have standard stat alignment. Since this is a Western RPG, we'll have this. That four different classes: a defender, which focuses on healing defense and retaliatory attacks. A manipulator reads others like a book, adding his own passages when needed. A statesman relies first on logic and persuasion to get what he wants. And finally, a warrior focuses on dealing out heavy damage to his enemies. Now, all of these give different stats, as you can see here. And this is quite an interesting game. These are actually not too stereotypical, as you can see. We have a psychic defense, which determines your ability to shield yourself and others from harm, impacts health, available healing abilities, and Psi reserves. So that is pretty much your mana reserve. Psi works as your mana, and it is used not only in magic, but also in special attacks. Spy power determines the damage dealt by your Fest and Psi abilities. Impacts available offensive abilities and Psi reserves. That also impacts Psi reserves. And that's an awfully hard. Personality determines your persuasion and ability to command others. Impacts max team size and chances of success in dialogue, which kind of shows which kind of makes dialogue seem a bit interesting, since it isn't all like predetermined. Yeah, there are some random chances here and there, and you aren't guaranteed anything really, which is quite interesting, and it's a interesting design decision. And at last, aptitude, which affects your intelligence, perceptiveness, and manipulation powers. It impacts scanning, training costs, ability to see in darkness, and evasion from random battles. And yeah, I'm going to play as a manipulator for this demonstration, and just add one of them. You can randomize, but they have their default settings, which you perhaps should keep to some extent. And while the demo is actually quite good at showing the intro sequence, actually is part of the not a demo, but the trailer is actually used partly in the intro sequence. I'm just going to show that instead of the introductory sequence, since that is quite long. So I'll see you in a minute.
I was young when they first showed up in Ravenel, probably no older than 13. Mother and father were as blind as anyone. We were all blind. It was right in front of us, and we could not see. Not until they came for us.
And here we are here in our cell, where we are cast in prison. So, yeah, to give you the rundown of the events, what happened was, when you were young, there came a cult from somewhere else to the place of your residence and started assimilating their culture into your culture, or basically more or less their religion into your religion. And slowly they started converting people into a religion following some other god than yours. Now, right now there's been a there's been a coup d'etat, basically meaning that the parliament has been dissolved, or, well, not really dissolved, but all the senators and such have been cast in prison, whilst their own supporters, those who support a new religion, have been thrown into the parliament, which is quite interesting in a way. Now, you are the son of a senator, so of course you have to be cast in prison or something as well. But we were as lucky as to have our friend Griffin come save us, since he has joined the resistance.
I just knew I'd find you in here.
You can hardly believe it, it's your old friend Griffin. Even before the two in the cell, you hadn't seen Griffin in months, not since he joined the Ravendale Guard. Griffin, what are you doing here?
When I heard that they'd arrested your parents, I had a feeling you'd end up in prison along with them. You're such a mama's boy.
Yeah, really funny, Griffin. Did you find my parents? This place is full of senators. Unfortunately, it is also positively crawling with mercenaries. I was lucky I found you. So they went just after mother and father. No, didn't you hear? The dissolved parliament then remade it, packed it with its own supporters. His voice takes on a bitter edge. The cult is consolidating its hold on power. I'm sure it's nothing personal. Yes, I've been trading with the gift. The gift is something. The gift is something you have, which that's a bit of a special thing of being a manipulator, I believe. Which you can already see there. That depending on what class you are and such things, outcomes and such are a bit different. Such as you can see there. Yeah, with stamp dialogue would have been there. There's very heavy, very dialogue-based game. It's not, and here we are. We're going to go into battle. So Prisoner Escape 1 is like the stage, and the objective is to defeat or to win. You can manage attacks, manage teams, manage orbs, but we don't really have to care about any of those things right now. We only care about this. As a tutorial, it is a pretty basic tutorial. I'm just going to skip over it since there's no real reason to show. It's a basic tutorial, actually quite in depth. If you've ever seen something like this, it should definitely remind you about certain RPGs, certain Western RPGs indeed, such as, say, Realms of Arcania, the German RPG, say Wizard's Crown if you're really going far back. And it's a basic turn-based tactics engine. Now you can choose which one of the characters to go first and just move them naturally. Press, yeah. Done. So move your to face your enemy. And so your attack is very simple, and you attack like that. And we want 10 gold coins.
Hey, are you alright?
Griffin, you're looking for. Are you alright?
What's the matter?
Takes you a moment to remember to breathe, and not a few form of verbal response. Yes, I'm fine. What's the matter? And you can actually, you most probably have noticed that there's a bit of voice acting in there, and I like that amount of voice acting. The game definitely didn't have the budget to just pull full over voice acting and everything, and especially if it's this dialogue based. But it is interesting in the way that it is just enough dialogue that you kind of get a sense on how the characters are supposed to talk. It's definitely often placed like in the beginning of certain segments, and then just you naturally read with that tone, which is interesting.
That's the first time you've ever killed someone, huh? Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, since of course you are some sort of psychic, and you can see into people's minds. It's quite difficult to kill people.
Not always. It gets easier, but it's never easy. And it shouldn't ever feel easy. Believe me, if it didn't feel bad, there would be something seriously wrong with you. Remember though, that wasn't your fault. He attacked us.
Ah yes. Standard model chatter.
Are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I'll be
good.
fine.
So, I take it you haven't led anyone in battle before, huh? Right, I figured. I don't remember you ever doing any military work. Here's a tip. I can take more hits than you can, even with your fancy mind bubble thing.
It's called a mind shield.
Yeah, that thing. Anyway, you should keep me out in front so I can take hits from the enemy. If I start looking like I'm in bad shape, though, use your mind shield on me so I can keep going. I didn't break you out of jail just so I could end up dead. Good.
No problem.
And you know, you don't have to attack anyone if you don't want to.
There's also some basic tactical advice, which is pretty obvious for anyone who hasn't played an RPG. Any sort, MMO or standard RPG, you just don't do front-on combat, and the manipulator in this case is basically the game's mage. You can define that scenario. We have prepare battle, prison to escape, defeat all of you enemies to win, and here we have the second battle. We are first confronted with ranged weapons here. Now we are kind of advised to let Griffin do the heavy damage dealing, which we can do, of course. Just keep silent behind here until he will be here. Yep, here we have. Very simple. The tutorial is sometimes actually quite painfully simple, but it's better to have a simple tutorial than an advanced one. As a matter of fact, each time the game you are done with the sequence, all your characters heal, so you haven't got to do like you have to do in many games, just try to keep your characters at maximum HP. You can take a bit of risks, but you can be ruthless if it's just a couple of people. So here, for example, if you attack somebody from behind, you get a backstabbing bonus worth 50% plus damage, which is going to do with him here. See, it would normally dealt 6 damage, and here I'm going to go and backstab him with Mind Blast. See, that's quite powerful. So next turn he's going to go there, shoot me. I can use a shield. Some basic healing wise. And there we go. And we won 20 gold coins. And what is this? It's another character.
Griffin, you're back. Did you find Senators Duvalier?
No, unfortunately. I did find my friend, but his parents were not being kept nearby.
I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't just could put in some Microsoft Steve voice acting for your name. That would have been
That's a shame.
entertaining.
We could have really used their help.
Not to worry. I have a feeling that he will be just as helpful to our cause.
How can he possibly help us? We don't have the resources to babysit a senator's son on top of everything else. We need finances, Griffin. We need backers with connections. We're never going to be able to stand against the cult in our current state.
Rahel, you're a tactician. Show some tact. Duvalier here has the gift for one thing, but more importantly, he has the sight. He could be a real help to us in battle.
Am I hearing this correctly? Are you suggesting that we let someone with no tactical experience direct us in battle merely because he has the sight? Why don't we just get a running start and throw ourselves onto their swords right now? It'll save everyone a lot of time and trouble.
That's enough. You gave up your command of this group. Unless you want it back, you're going to have to listen to my orders. Besides, you of all people should appreciate the significance of being able to instantly see and react to everything that's happening on the battlefield.
I heard guards up ahead. I'll scout the passage.
Just go again, Griffin.
All right, here's the deal. I somehow ended up in command of the People's Resistance of Ravenal a few weeks ago. It's a long story that I'll tell you later, but time is short. Basically, we really need your help. Please don't take Rahel's comments personally. She's not always easy to get along with.
Now, that's pretty obvious.
I want you to use your gifts to help us overthrow the cult. You don't necessarily have to fight. Just direct us with your gift. Use the sight to keep track of what's happening on the battlefield. Keep everyone safe and guide us to victory. That's all I ask. So you'll do it. Ah! I knew I could count on you. Let's get out of here.
Ah, yes, continue. So here we have third battle, which is not really no free movement here, and here we shall first have our ranked units, but first ranked unit. But before this gets so quick, I just want to round it up. So this is Telepath RPG, Servants of God, and some of the you can clearly see there's quite a bit of drama in here, and the dialogue. Personally, I've seen an awful lot of really bad dialogue. This is fairly good, actually. I mean, it has seemingly a thoughtful narrative about the nature of mind, the mind and existence or non-existence of God, since this is central to like God in a way, in the existence debate. It is quite interesting. Now, it is, from what I can see, this is a game with huge potential. I played the two previous ones. I really think you perhaps should try to, if you want to really get into this game, you should play the previous ones, especially so the third. Now, they don't perhaps have that much directly to do with the story, but they do have an awful lot to do with like the universe and such, and that is quite well crafted. And it's pretty unique. You don't see many Middle Eastern steampunk fantasy settings. It's as they say, it's unique, it's original, and it definitely a breath of fresh air. Now, it's not like high elves and dwarves. It's not just high elves and dwarves and elves and all that. No, it's like sci-fi. It's quite fresh, to be honest. And yeah. And to be perfectly honest on whether or not you should take the game, I would recommend getting the demo first. Here we can see some footage from the demo. It feels quite well, and if you're a fan of tactical games such as, say, Final Fantasy Tactics or tactical RPGs, other Western tactical RPGs such as, say, Wizard's Crown or the Pool of Radiance, or say any games such as that, I would recommend you getting this. This is, in such a case, if you appreciate good storytelling and deep and thoughtful narrative, this is something that is just right for you, and you should get it. So, without further ado, I would like to say thank you for watching, and if you're interested in more RPG/strategy gaming content, such as indie RPG news features such as this, I would recommend that you subscribe, and goodbye.